communist, fascist. As border czar, she then launched a colossal invasion of California's southern border. Just yesterday, the Wall Street Journal reported that a Venezuelan gang is expanding its deadly reach in the United States. First sentence of the story begins, U.S. law enforcement officials have watched with alarm the spread of a Venezuelan gang known for dismembering people. Dismembering people, right? Dismembering people. From Chile to Colombia, they're all over the place. Now they're in our country. They're known as MS-13. They're considered the meanest, toughest gang in the world. In Long Island, not so long ago, two young 16-year-old girls were walking to school, and they carved them up with a knife. They killed both of them. They carved them up with a knife. They didn't want to shoot them. And we got them out. I got them out so fast, and we did a big number. And I wanted to thank ICE while I'm at it, because ICE has been unbelievable. Border Patrol has been unbelievable. And she wants to get rid of ICE. She wants to dismember ICE. She wants to take them out. And if you didn't have ICE, you'd have a problem in this country. ICE would go in. I remember in Long Island with us, they had a gang that was brutal, MS-13 gang. They came out of prisons from different places. And they formed, for whatever reason, Long Island seems to be a place. And I'll never forget the scene of ICE going into a rat's nest, they call them, when you have a lot of them together, rat's nest. And they walked into that nest, and you just saw arms and fists and feet. Everybody was flying. And 3 minutes later, he saw it. 3 minutes later, they walked out with these guys, dragging them out by their feet and throwing them into paddy wagons and bringing them into jails. And then we got them out of the country and moved them back to where they came from, which Obama was unable to do when he was president. Obama was unable to do because the countries wouldn't participate. They wouldn't allow him back. But I called those countries, three of them. Guatemala, take a look. Mexico, too, to a large extent. And I think probably the worst of all, we had four countries. Colombia was rough. We had four in South America. But the South America is no longer the problem. We have bigger problems elsewhere. Guatemala, a lot of problems in Guatemala. A lot of bad people coming out. We called, I said, let me speak to the president. I told him, you're not getting any more foreign aid. I got $750 million a year. I said, no more foreign aid. Why? Because you send people over in caravans and you won't take them back, and they're criminals, and we don't want them in this country. And you wouldn't take them back with Obama. They would put planes on the runways, big planes on the runways, so you couldn't land the planes loaded up with prisoners. And I said, that's okay. You can keep doing it. We're not paying you 10 cents. And they called me back 20 minutes later, one of them the next day, three countries. And they said we would be honored to take MS-13 back. We like them very much. We're wonderful people. And we got them out by the thousands and thousands. We got them out. And that I attribute to ICE and Border Patrol. They're incredible people. Not only is Comrade Howard, I mean, if you take a look at this, but not only is Comrade Kamala allowing illegal aliens to stampede across our border, but then it was announced about a year ago that they're actually flying them in. Nobody knew that. They were secretly flying in hundreds of thousands of people. Some of the worst murderers and terrorists you've ever seen. They were taking anybody that wanted to come in, and they're flying them in. So when they tell you about their borders a little bit better than it used to be, they only did that for election reasons. Not good, but it's a little bit better. But they don't tell you that the flights are still coming in here, bringing in thousands and thousands of illegal aliens, and they're being dropped into the midsection of our country because all states are really border states right now. And I'm the border president. I solved it in 2016, probably got elected because of that in 2016. And really, there was nothing to do in 2020. I said to my people, I want to talk about the border, what a job I did. They said, sir, nobody cares you did it. It was good. We went from a terrible border to a great border very quickly. I did a great job. And then I come in and I look at what's happening now, and the only difference is that the border in 2016 was 1/20 what it is now. We have the worst border in the history of the world. There's never been a border like this. And I want to be the border president, and I hope you call me the border president because I'm going to show you what a border security job we can do, and we're going to do a job like never has been done before. There's never been a border like this. I believe the real number is 21 million people are here, and many are thugs, criminals. And remember this, if you go to South America and if you go to these countries that have taken their prisoners out of their jails to empty their jails and dumped them into the United States like we're a dumping ground, you're going to see their crime rates have gone down by 50, 60, 70, and 80%. If you look at Caracas, Venezuela, they took their criminals and drug dealers and rapists off the street and they dumped them into the United States of America. Dumping ground, they call it. We're a dumping ground for Venezuela because we have stupid people running our country. And you think Biden's bad? This one's going to be worse than Biden. Over the past 3.5 years, Kamala has resettled 500,000 illegal migrants from Haiti into American communities, including over 200,000 who Kamala has illegally flown into the United States by airplane when they couldn't get through the border because the border guards backed up. They were refusing to let them in. They don't want it. They love this country. They're saying, you can't do this to our country. They flew them in right over the top of the border guards, and they're doing it right now. They're doing it right now. In Springfield, Ohio, 20,000 illegal Haitian migrants have descended upon a town of 58,000 people, destroying their way of life. They've destroyed the place. And people don't like to talk about it because even the town doesn't like to talk about it because it sounds so bad for the town. They live there. They're proud. They love the town. For years, it was a great place, safe, nice. Now they have 20,000, and I actually heard today it's 32,000. It's the new number. Illegal aliens are now coming in from all over the world, from prisons, jails, mental institutions. They're coming in at levels that we've never seen before. We cannot let this happen to our country. And I will be your border president, and I hope you call me a border president. I never thought I'd have to say that again because we fixed the border, and now it was 100% beautiful. And that includes fentanyl and drugs and everything else. We had it fixed, and now nobody's ever seen anything like it. And I guess they want to do it because we built hundreds of miles of wall, and we had hundreds of miles, I said, after we completed, much more than I said I was going to complete. And it had a huge impact. But after I completed it, we had all of this wall to be put up. It could have been put up in 200 miles, could have been put up in 3 weeks, would have been totally sealed, and much larger than I originally said, but it worked so well. We were doing so well. And not only didn't they put it up, they sold much of it for 5 cents on the dollar. Very expensive wall, has wires inside of it for technology. Hardened steel, hardened concrete, and rebar. They wanted all three. I did it as per the Border Patrol. I disagreed with the look. They said, sir, this is the only way. We had to put a anti-climb panel on top. The panel on top is an anti-climb panel. I said, I don't like the way it looks. They say, I know, but it stops people from climbing. I said, all right, we'll do it the way you want. A president has a duty to keep you safe. Kamala will turn America into a poor, violent, third world refugee camp. It already sort of is. We have elections that are a mess, and we have a border that's the worst of any border ever in the world. There's never been a country ever in the world that's allowed 21 million people to come across in a short period of time. And children and the children of American citizens are at the mercy of barbaric criminals. You take a look at what's happening in Colorado. The governor's afraid to even talk about it. The governor is a Democrat. Colorado, I hope you're going to vote for Trump because you're being stampeded by your own politicians. The governor can't talk about it because he can't go against the policies of these lunatics that want all these people to come into our country without knowing who they are. We don't even know where they come from. As of last week, I was told by Tom Homan, we had 168 countries represented over the last 12 months. In other words, people came in illegally from 168 different countries. Most people don't know there's that many countries. There's more than that in the world. We'll know them all pretty soon, I'm sure.